Hi guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to do a really quick video slash tutorial on how I do my brows and what products I use. So for this I use our Pro Liner Eyebrow Brush. I use our brow pomade. I use shade 02, which is brown. I use our brow powder and also shade 02, and then I use our clear brow setting gel. So I start with our pomade first. I take my angled liner and my pomade. It's just in a little jar, and let me grab my mirror here. I keep my brows plucked, that way I know like what lines to follow and where to fill my brows in. So I just start on the bottom of the brow and kind of trace out the shape that I want. And the brow pomade is really pigmented, so you really just need a little because it goes a long way. So I just carve out that bottom right where I want it, and then I go back in with a little bit more. And then what I do personally is I go back and I do the top as well and kind of follow my natural brow line. And then from there, all I have to do is fill it in, which makes life a little bit easier. And then I just kind of go back and touch up where I need to. And then to finish the front of the brow, I take a little bit more pomade, and I actually flip the pencil or the brush over. That way this pointy tip is facing down. And then what I do for the front of my brows is I actually just flick that brush up towards the front to kind of make it look more natural and more hair-like. So just like that, that first brow is done, nice and easy. Of course, I can go back and make it darker if I want to, or I can adjust the shape by carving my brows out. I just prefer to just use that pomade. I really only carve them out unless if something looks a little bit wonky and it's hard to fix. You do have to work quickly with this pomade because as soon as it dries down, it does not budge. I use the pomade all the time just because that's my personal preference, but I really like using the pomade in the summertime because once it dries down, like I said before, it does not move, and I actually can swim in this. So I can do my brows and swim and have them not move at all. So same thing with this one, I just did the bottom. And then I do the top, and I don't have a lot of hair. I actually don't have any hair where my arch would be on the second brow, so that's where that pomade or the the powder comes in. So I just build it up as much as I can. And then same thing with the front. I flip that brush over and use the tip to flick upwards. And then I make sure that I'm even or the best I can be with brows. My saying is sisters, not twins. Of course, our brows are a little bit differently shaped, and of course you can manipulate them to be as symmetrical as you want them to be, but sometimes it's just not the case, so I don't fret about it too much. But after I take my pomade, I take my powder. Of course, this step you don't have to do. You can just do the pomade and go, but I take my brow powder after I've used my pomade. That way I don't have to clean my brush, and I just take a little bit of that, and I actually start at the tail of my brow and just kind of slowly and softly start to just kind of flick that in to make the back of my brow a little bit darker. Because naturally your brows should be lighter towards the front, and then as they get to the tail, they should go a little bit darker, not too dark. Of course, you don't want to overdo it. So I use a majority of the product on the tail, and then as I get closer to the front of my brow, I just use whatever is left on my brush and just kind of flick it through. That way you've got that nice gradient. And I just love, love, love the way my brows look when I do this technique. Usually I only use that brow pomade, and then I use our setting gel, and then I'm out the door. But lately this powder has just been giving me some extra oomph, giving me some extra color, which I really like. And you can just kind of go back in with that powder and really deepen up that tail until you get the color that you want. And because that pomade is still a little bit wet, It's dried down a little bit, but it's still a little bit wet. That powder will stick to it really, really well. And then this little compact of powder will last me a long time. So once I fill that in, I just double check everything, make sure I don't need to add a little bit extra. My personal preference, like I said, is to use that pomade, because if you just use the powder, which you totally can do, the powder tends to move a little bit throughout the day, even if you set it down. So I like to use that pomade and then use that pomade almost like a sticky base to do my brows. And then I take our clear brow gel and just kind of very lightly flick up the hairs towards the front, and then just kind of really finish everything off. I don't use a lot, of course, because you don't want to move that product around. The powder might move just a little bit with that wet gel. And then I just flick that through my brows. Now, I will tell you guys, don't get frustrated if you're newer to doing your brows. They do take a long time to get used to doing them and to finding the shape that works for you. But a little trick that I do is, once I have the shape that I like of my brows, which is right now, I think they're pretty even, I like where the arches are at, I will do my brows, and then at the end of the day, before I take my makeup off, I'll grab a pair of tweezers and I'll actually tweeze underneath where there's no product. That way I can keep that line and that symmetry of where I like to have my brows at. So that's a nice tidbit for you. Of course, you could pluck them now if you wanted to as well, but if you pluck them before you take your makeup off, after you've got that drawn on, it's nice and easy to follow. So quick and easy. Like I said, doesn't take me very long, because I've really mapped out my brows and I like where the shape is and I like the color. I've gotten used to that. We do have a couple different shades. We've got the light, I think it's blonde, and then brown, and then dark brown. So a couple different shades to work with. But yeah, guys, that's it. These are my brows. This is how I do it every single day. All my information to order is in the comments below, in the description below. And I also have my email there if you guys have any questions. Just really quick, if you don't know, Farmasi is a European-based company. We've been around for about 70 years. And we've just been in the U.S. It'll be this next February. We'll be in the U.S. for 2 years. We have some amazing products, you guys, European standards, and they are super affordable prices. We give people the ability to start their own business for $20, no fees, no quotas, nothing like that. It gives you access to 50% discount from day one, as well as 50% commission any person that purchases from your shopping link. So feel free to reach out if you guys have any questions. My shopping link is below, as well as the products and the shades that I used. If you wanted to go ahead and purchase these, just know that I do make a commission off of any purchases off my website. And if you're interested in joining my team, I would love to chat with you. But I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.